Welcome to the Rick Helps Real Estate Show, the traveling roadshow edition. Yes, I am in full RV mode still today, while my referral team is down there working like crazy. Boy, you had a heck of a boob yesterday. Big old dust storm moved through the valley. People were sending me pictures like crazy. I thought, ooh, geez, something was rough. That's what happens when it's been dry for a long time and then the rains finally show up. So very doubtful that you'll get another one today, but that sure made the news, even all the way up here. But what's also making the news in my little world is I'm seeing. I'm going to call these green shoots. I don't know. You have to be cautious when you look at numbers that kind of start to turn. You always have to be wary and go, well, is this temporary or are we finally digging out of a hole? So I'm going to share some numbers with you, and I like to share charts and show you some of the trends, and of course you can determine from there what you want. If you're a crash bro, you're going to hate this video. I apologize up front, but just going to show you some things that we're seeing, and it's making us go, what's going on? And one of the first things that we're seeing, it's kind of a result of just the uptick or the relief that we've seen slightly in mortgage rates. And you can see here that the listings under contract jumped. We were down here at 6,400, now we're 7,000. That's not a lot. It's 700, but 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row, we finally exceeded last year. And, is this going to continue? Hard to tell. People are getting a little, I think, ahead of their skis, thinking that there's going to be a big interest rate cut in September. That's always what I like to say, already baked in the cake with the bond market. So don't hang your hat on that. If they come in and reduce it by 0.50, I don't think rates are going to budge. We're not going to be in the high fives. I don't see that happening. So don't high five yourself thinking we're going to be there. I don't see that coming, but who knows? This one is interesting, folks. This is average list price per square foot. Now, if you look at this blue line up on the top, this is the asking price, okay? There's always a gap between the asking price and what the price was when it went under contract. What this means, this is a busy chart. This means they were asking this, but they had lowered their price by the time it went under contract. So you have a listing price here of $331 per square foot. By the time it went under contract, it went down to $309 per square foot. In other words, I wanted this. I didn't see it coming. We weren't getting any offers, so we lowered the price, and voila, we went under contract. We went under contract at that price, but what did it sell at? And that's what the brown number is here that says that's the closed price. In other words, the closed price went down to $292. So you got the list price, what the price was when it went under contract, and then you got pulled down even further. And then this is the actual sales price per square foot. Those two kind of hug closely together. It confuses me a little bit. But it's telling you, what it's not telling you is there's a lot of concessions behind that too. So you got the close price. It's not showing you there what they gave away as far as concessions. Did they buy down your rate? Did they contribute to your closing costs? Well, the average is a little over $10,000. So yeah, they did chip in. And that's what's moving houses in today's market. Now, real estate's always a measure of supply and demand, and the Cromford Market Index has proprietary math that they use to take a look at this, and we can take a look here and see that the Cromford Market Index is starting to go up. Green shoots, starting to improve a little bit for sellers. That's what it means when it goes up. It means that anything over 110 is considered a seller's market. Anything 100 is average. Below that is a buyer's market. We've been in a buyer's market and cold market for a few months now, but we're starting to see this indication that maybe we're digging out of it. Now, when we see that, one of the reasons that we are kind of digging out of that is a couple things. One, a lot of people listed their homes and they didn't sell, so they just pulled them off their market. And I think they pulled them off their market for at least a year. Listings expired. We're going to have listings expire again now after Labor Day, and I'm interested to see where that number is. We were hitting like 1,000, 1,200 expired listings. I don't expect it to be that high. I'm going to guess and say, I'll bet you we see between 500 and 600 this time. Not that much. And I think the reason is that the people that were attempting to sell have already been out there, already gave it a shot. And the people that are on the market now aren't testing the market. They're actually trying to sell. So the number of listings that we have is down. So I don't expect a big wave of expired coming in after Labor Day, but I'll be right here and I'll tell you what I see. The other thing I'm seeing too is a drop in canceled listings. There's still news out there that canceled listings are way up according to Redfin, but we're not. We're down to like 440. Last year at this time, we were 419. And canceled listings can happen for a lot of different reasons. Normally three. One, they couldn't get the financing, or their buyer couldn't get the financing, so they just canceled the I'm out. I'm getting out of here. You change your mind. You decide that instead of waiting for your contract to expire, you're just saying, let's take the house off the market. And the third one is that it didn't appraise. And so rather than finding a price that you both agree on, they just canceled it and they pulled their house off the market. Got to come back and try it another day. Now, what we're seeing here in pending listings is a slight uptick. And there's pending listings. And then I already showed you over here that, which is listings under contract, the very first one. That one's rising a little bit higher. What's the difference between the two? Well, listings under contract is just, it's under contract. Pending is we're not having any more showings. We're just going to mark it as pending. Kind of the same thing, just a little nuance there, but it's higher than last year, not by much. Nothing to sneeze at. This one is curious to me, though. This is number of price changes per week are continuing to come down. These are price cuts. People are listing closer to reality, not quite there yet in some areas, but they're not coming in and cutting at the rate that they were back here. We were seeing like 3,600 homes reducing their prices. Now we're down by 2,600 to 2,600 homes, down by 1,000. So that continues to go down week after week. Could be a seasonal adjustment. Time will tell. This is the list price versus sales price per square foot. So you can see that there's a gap here. So, and that gap is driven by a couple things. One, people are listing higher so they can give you more concessions. So there's a big difference between $305 a square foot and $298. Now, on my 7-day moving average that I have here, you can see that this yellow gold area here is a number of new listings. This is the number of new contracts, the black line. It did go up a little bit, but it's kind of still hanging where it has been in the average. So when I showed you that first chart that showed the listings under contract has gone up, I'm not really seeing it yet in my daily tracking. So there isn't anything to me that's jumping out that says, okay, here we go. Sales are coming back. Interest rates have gone down to about 6.53. People are jumping in. I don't think so. I think there's a little bit of an improvement, but what is causing me some attention here is the lack of new listings. People are not putting their homes on the market. So when you're looking at these numbers, one thing's very clear to me: we're not diving. I think the reduction that we're seeing in prices, and be careful what you're looking at. Some of the numbers that say, our close price is this and it's down 3%. Well, that contract was written a month or 2 months ago. So it's going to be interesting to see what the numbers look like in October when we start compiling the September numbers. So I think October, you're not going to see declines from homes that sold in September. I seem to be seeing in our market some leveling off right now. There's a lot of things that could come that could pop that balloon. I'm not sure what that would be. It all depends on the greater economic picture. But for the Phoenix Valley right now, for the most part, we're seeing a little tiny bit that almost wants you to say a resurgence. But I'm not in the camp yet where I'm ready to jump in and say that. I'm saying there are some green shoots here, and you can watch it carefully and see what's going on. If you're waiting for prices to come down, understand that what you're seeing right now, especially when it comes to supply and demand, the prices are not going to come down anytime soon. They're not going to crash unless that number changes. No crash until supply greatly outstrips demand. It's the opposite right now. So you're not going to see that. We're going to see that in 6 months. I don't know. I know a lot of you are waiting for that. You'll see it in the comments, folks. Crash, baby, crash. Okay. Not today. So we're not seeing that number yet. Let me know what you see that you think is different there. And if you want a personalized market report for your zip code, click the link below or this little QR code that I have over here. And you just fill out your zip code and I can send you a report, let you know what's going on in your neighborhood. And also, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, the link is down there below. Comes out every Monday morning. I'm adding stuff to it every week. In the meantime, have a great week. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, rick@rickhelps.com. Take care and thanks for watching.